So I was talking about this idea of, with his soliloquies, which are so powerful, that he seems to have an awareness of the audience. Iago. And in this scene, what's happened is he's got Cassio drunk and fired, and Rodrigo made a big mess, and it all turned into a big fight. And Cassio's fired, and he comes and he's depressed, and he has a really eloquent, like, interesting discussion about the loss of his reputation, that which exceeds his body. He doesn't have his reputation anymore, and Iago advises him really wisely, for his plan, to go seek Desdemona, and now he's like really setting up the trap. And Cassio is really sad, and now he's bolstered, and he trusts Iago, and he's really happy, and he's like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. I have a good relationship with her. She'll put me back in the good books. And he leaves, and Iago's there alone, and he says, and who's he saying this to? It really is the audience. And this is like, his self-awareness is quite powerful, isn't it? Who is saying that I'm the villain here? he knows he's in a play, doesn't he? Why are you guys saying I'm the bad guy? The advice I give is free, it's honest, probable to thinking, indeed the course to win the Moor again. It works, it's good advice. For 'tis most easy the inclining Desdemona to subdue in any honest suit. She's framed as fruitful as the free elements. So Desdemona is kind, and she will help. And then for her to win the Moor, so then for her to go to the Moor and say, make it up to Cassio, were it to renounce his baptism, all seals and symbols of redeemed sin, his soul is so infettered to her love that she may make, unmake, do what she list, even as her appetite shall play the god with his weak function. Whoa, I never really noticed the intensity of this. If she asked him to, he's converted, renounce it, all his redeemed sin, like becoming Christian, if she said turn your back on it, because he is chained to her love. And she can make, unmake, do what that's just really cool. She can do whatever she wants. She can play the god with him. She runs him. So how am I then a villain to counsel Cassio to this parallel course? Why am I bad? He's laughing, like he's having fun with the audience. We know what he's going to do. He's told us. He's told us the macro plan. It's happening. Divinity of hell. When devils will the blackest sins put on, they do suggest at first with heavenly shows, as I do now. So we get the blackest sins again. Devils put on angels shows. They put on a show like they're an angel, as I'm doing. For whilst this honest fool plies Desdemona to repair his fortunes, and she for him pleads strongly to the Moor, I'm going to pour pestilence, poison in his ear. Words. And that she repeals him for her body's lust. And by how such strives to do him good. So the reason she's agitating for Cassio is she wants him. That's what I'm going to get the Moor to believe. And by how much she strives to do him good, she shall under her credit with the Moor. The more she tries, the worse it'll be with the Moor. So will I turn her virtue into pitch black, white into black. Again, the imagery, the light dark, the racism, the implications of what pitch means, I think can be played with here. And out of her own goodness make the net that shall, I think that's a new line, that shall enmesh them all. Her own goodness will create a trap. This is something worth considering. how she's so kind and good, but he can manipulate goodness. Being good isn't enough. Being good might be a kind of weakness. Um, uh, Iago can see that he's an actor. Iago can see what he's doing. He can reflect on himself. He can manipulate and play himself. And that makes him something. I mean, I've talked to you about him being a malcontent and what that means and that convention, but he far exceeds that. Richard the Third, or let me think, who else? Edmund, even Edmund. Edmund is a genius character in King Lear, but Iago's got a depth of mystery and something deeper and more perverse for me. And his awareness of himself is disturbing for a viewer. And his language and his playfulness and his persuasiveness can be something that disturbs an audience while still persuading them and laughing and being complicit and finding him a much more interesting character than most.